Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Mother's Day on Sunday. And every year I look forward to the one and only Cindy Adams, her column in the New York Post about her mom. I love reading about it. I love hearing the affection, the love, everything she feels and felt for her mama, and talks about her own story. So, Cindy, I love this column, and I look forward to it every year because it sometimes makes me cry. I don't know, hope it's not sappy. It touches, and it's real. And you talk about your family and how you grew up, and how your mother, no matter what, was there for you, holding your head above water all the time.
Look, not everybody develops children as great as you did. You have a wonderful relationship. I have met people that I don't quite understand. They don't like their mother. They don't like their parents. They're not close. I don't quite understand it, but who knows about people's emotions?
Right.
I only had one person in my whole life. I loved my husband, yes. I loved my friends, yes. But I only had my mother to care for me from the day I was born. I was nothing. I had nothing. I was not pretty. I was unattractive. I was ill. And my mother made me every single thing I am today. Even if you don't like me, I am what my mother made for me. So for me, the name Mother is almost like you're talking about, like God.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Which is amazing. And when you were growing up and coming of age, did you ever feel resentful that she was trying to turn you into something you might not be? Or did you relish it and go along with it?
I didn't feel any jealousy. I wasn't smart enough or resentful enough. I was just my mother's child, and whatever she was making me do, I would do, because I remember when we were poor and Mother would go to buy me a dress, she would always buy me 2 dresses. And I said, Mom, I don't need 2 dresses. 1 is enough. I was that way. I understood we had nothing, and I didn't rail against my mom. I was grateful for whatever she did, and she kept doing and doing and doing.
And Cindy, did she see your success?
Well, she did. She did. My husband left me in like 99 or something like that, and she left me 3 months later.
Oh.
So I lost them both within a few months, and they were the same age, exactly the same age. And there was a little tussle between them, or my husband's jealousy, because I loved my mother intensely.
Of course.
And he always felt a bit jealous. Didn't matter to me. My mother was first. She only lived 1 block away from me, even when I grew up and was doing well. I got her an apartment right near me. How about you and your children? Are you that, your child, are you that close?
I have 2 children, 2 of my own biological children. I have Lizzie, my daughter, and Johnny, my son. Lizzie lives in New York now. She's lived in Russia and in Japan. She's back in New York. I grew up, like you, very close to my mom, and my father was a great father. So they were such an important part of my life. I have a big family, and my grandfather lived with us. So you can imagine every night all his children, his stepchildren, whatever he had, would come over to visit Papa. And we were the community dining room. So I loved that. I loved the innumerable relatives piling in to see what goodies would appear on the dining room table. And very close to my own parents and my kids, although Johnny lives in L.A., I still talk to him, believe it or not, every day. And I love family and the concept of family, and it does make a difference. And I always admired you, Cindy, because of your devotion to your friends and to your family, and the love that you had for your mom and the appreciation that she gave you a life. No matter what sacrifice it took for her, she took care of you. And
How do you understand the world today with children and parents? They don't obey. They turn on their parents. I don't understand that. What is it that's happening that I cannot understand?
Well, it could be a lot of shrinks blaming someone. You know, think about it. Everyone wants to blame someone. When my kids were little and I was working all the time, and my kid, Lizzie, would say, I'm going to tell the doctor when I grow up that my mom wasn't home all the time for me.
Yeah.
I said, you're going to tell a psychiatrist? She said, yeah. I said, one day you're just going to tell your own that that's the way life is. But I always loved my children. Maybe if there's such a thing as love too much, but like you, I appreciate the opportunity my own mother gave. My mom would say, don't ever be afraid. You can do anything. You might fail, but it doesn't matter. You're going to step over it and go on. I remember she made me get in the car. I lived in Long Island in what was then a little town, and drive to New York by myself.
Oh.
I was terrified. I could barely back out of the driveway. And she said, you can do it. I have faith. So you and I had mothers who, no matter what, thought we were raving beauties and did everything to make us try to believe it.
Yeah, yeah. I only wish I could have had her now.
I know.
That's all.
She would be so proud. But you know what? I have to believe that, I don't know why or how, but she knows.
Well, that makes me feel better for her.
She knows. What can you do? We have to do the best we can do. And she would be very proud of her daughter, who has changed the world not only for herself, but for all those people who depend on her, who read her, who care about her. So happy Mother's Day to you, dear Cindy, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be on the air with you. Thank you, honey.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
I'm Joan Hamburg, and you're listening to WABC, and you can listen to the great Cindy Adams, who comes on the air at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, 1 to 2 every Sunday. All right, everyone, stay tuned because there's much more ahead.